Hey everybody, it's Spicy and welcome back to another video. Today we'll be covering, well, as you can see, the Tough Break update is here and it is live. And basically we're just going to go over the patch notes of the new update. So far I've enjoyed it a lot. A lot of new weapon debuffs and rebuffs, but we'll see. So the New Mexico Department of Labor has found the administrator in violation of every safety law they have, including 106 violations of the Employee Electroshock, Face, Trunk, and Genital Protection Act, and 496 unexplained work disappearances. This means Miss Pauling has been state mandated to take her first vacation in, well, ever. It also means she'll be working around the clock since those kill contracts won't assign themselves. So of course, we have the nice $5.99 by Jane Doe. From Jane Doe, Bite Cave, Badlands, New Mexico. Jane Doe is thought to be the soldier's name, so we don't know that quite yet. But we got all these kind of cool cases and stuff. This is another contract update, in case you guys didn't know. What is cool? 26 new contracts, so it's 3 months long. And what's cool is for these contracts, you're gonna need certain items, and for the duration of that contract, you get to have the item, which is kind of cool if you don't really have any. Then, of course, there are 4 new collections: the Gentleman's Collection, the Harvest Collection, and this will keep going. The Gentleman's Collection, the Harvest Collection, and there were 2 more. The Harvest Collection, and why is it only showing 2? Whatever, they look cool. They also have new knives, which actually look really nice. I really like the look of them. Oh, this one right here, dude. This one looks beautiful. And that's in the Pyroline case, and this stuff is in the Warbird case. And you can get all kinds of cool stuff. They have now skin knives, which I'm super excited about. So right here we have the contract setup stamp, which we can upgrade to like 2 Fort eventually, because kind of like the Gunmetal Campaign coin, as well as the cosmetic case, which is cool. We got some new maps, community-created maps. We got Payload Snowy Coast. I played this a little while ago. It's pretty fun. Did it for a contract. There's some pretty OP sentry spots in my opinion, but it isn't too bad. Next up we got Vanguard Control Point. Pretty nice map. I haven't tried it out yet, but from what I've seen, it looks pretty good. High Pass, Koth. From what I've seen, pretty good map. I enjoy it. And Landfall, which I actually really like the look of, generally. CTF. I don't know, I haven't played this one yet. Of course, we got some new taunts. The Manrobics, which is like... I'm not really sure how to explain Manrobics, but it's like soldier punch stuff. Yeah. Then we got the Bad Pipes by the Demo Man. In fact, I think I can play a small video here. Yeah, I can, but I won't. And the Bucking Bronco for the Engineer. And of course... with every major update, there are weapon balance changes. The cream of the crop. So, we'll start right away. All class, base weapon switch speed changed from 0.67 seconds to 0.5 seconds, which is kind of cool. Upon spawning, friendly players show an outline for 10 seconds, which is actually really useful for newer players. And updated various weapon descriptions to better detail their functionality, which is nice. Multi-class, panic attack no longer auto-fires when fully loaded. Shots can be held and released at will. This is actually a really nice thing to kind of just load. This is a buff, basically, to load all your shots, switch over to maybe your soldier using your rocket launcher, and then whenever you just literally have a panic attack, take that baby out and just use it. Then with the reserve shooter, it was slightly debuffed, so it no longer boosts all-around switch speed. Instead, boosts switch to speed by 20% and switch from speed by 15%. So now it's not the degreaser, flare gun, and well, actually, it's the degreaser, the reserve shooter, and the power jack thing is no longer that good, but The Habza Toichi is now considered a sword, which means it has an increased holster and deploy time with increased range. It is honor bound. The honor bound is changed now. Now whenever you holster it, you deal 50 self-damage if no kill was made. And it cannot be holstered if the player is below 50 life and no kill was made. 100% life restore on kill to change to 50% health gain on kill that can result in overheal. And the one that many people, including me, have been looking for, no random crits. It's beautiful, I know. For the Scout, the Pretty Boy's pocket pistol was buffed with an increased health recovered on hit from 3 to 5. And a Mad Milk... extinguishing an ally will now reduce the cooldown by 20%, which I think is pretty nice. It gives it a little more, Scouts a little more incentive to use it. With the Rap Assassin, now 42% more festive. Ornament shatters on all impacts, dealing a small amount of damage in a small radius. Bleed effect still only applies to a target that is struck directly. The ball recharge rate is increased by 25%, and the damage penalty was to 65%, which, in my opinion, doesn't make too much of a difference, but it's a thing. For the Soldier, the Beggar's Bazooka, it had a decreased blast radius because it was OP already. The Conjurer, it doubled the health regeneration rate, so now it's overpowered as hell. But it only, it's decreased if the player has been recently damaged, which is kind of interesting to know. The base jumper, that bug where you're on fire and you can float upward infinitely, has been removed. The Market Gardener was a 20% attack speed penalty. Honestly, I don't think that's too much of an issue, but you're going to have to retime some of your rocket jumps. And with the airstrike, reduced blast radius by 20% when rocket jumping, 28% when compared to stock, which is meh. I mean, you know. For the sniper, we have the Cleaner's Carbine, which is reduced firing rate penalty from 35% to 20%, which is nice, because that way, you know, it's actually useful. The Cleaner's Carbine isn't terribly amazing. And now it added the Crikey meter when it is filled by dealing damage, so it has a very similar effect to the Hitman's Hitmaker. Hitman's Heatmaker, there we go. I keep screwing that name up every time. Mini-crits are no longer activated by kill, but can instead be activated by alt-fire when the Crikey meter is filled. With the Cozy Camper, and it has been buffed, the quadrupled health regeneration rate. Regeneration rate is now decreased if player has been recently damaged. And Girardi, same thing as the Mad Milk, is that when you extinguish an ally, the cooldown is 20% down. Now, the biggest changes, in my opinion, have happened to Pyro, because it's done. It's over. Pyro is left to collect rainbows. Extinguishing a teammate will now return 20 health. Consecutive air blasts will no longer prevent enemies from air strafing. So you know that really annoying tactic where they just kind of held you in a corner? They can't do that anymore. The base flamethrower's damage fall off over distance has been decreased, resulting in higher damage output at range. I have noticed this. I have noticed this very much, and it kind of sucks, I gotta say. What are you gonna do? Decreaser has been debuffed, which is a huge blow to everybody who plays Pyro, which is no longer boosts all-around switch speed, instead boosts switch to speed by 60% and switch from speed by 30%. It removed the damage penalty, which is an upside, but it did increase the air blast cost. And it increased the afterburn penalty from 25% to 66%. So while you do get normal flamethrower damage and the switch speed, you kind of lose the ability to do air blasts and, you know, use it effectively. The Flog, I don't know what was going through Valve's mind when they did this, but the Flog has been buffed. They removed the 10% damage penalty. When you activate the Oomph, the Taunting Pyro gains a temporary invulnerability and immunity to knockback effects, which means you can't backstab them anymore. So essentially, the Flog is overpowered as hell, and I've seen every single Pyro using it. The Extinguisher properties have been changed again. And we're actually back to 100% crit chance to crit against burning targets, 33% damage penalty, 20% slower attack speed, and 75% slower switch 2 speed. Now, this is very similar to the original Extinguisher, which had these similar stats, but didn't have the other. It was pretty much just the first one, none of these three. For the medics have slightly higher health regeneration when healing a hurt patient, and during setup time, Ubercharge rate build rate is now increased by 3 times, which is kind of interesting, but I don't know what's going to happen there. The Amputator taunt can now be activated by alt fire, which is useful because you don't have to go across. You don't have to cross the 2 keys that is to your G key. At least that's what I use for my taunt. The healing done with the taunt now grants small amounts of Ubercharge, which is kind of nice. I mean, it's kind of a nice reward. The Vaccinator removed 10% health regeneration on proper resist. I'm not exactly sure what proper resist means, so I can't really respond to that. Added slight Ubercharge build on proper resist. Still don't know what that means. Increased Ubercharge rate from plus 50% to plus 67%. That's a buff. Hands down. Reduced overhealed Ubercharge build rate penalty to 33% from 66%. As this penalty is applied after the base increase, healing an overhealed patient is now 33% more effective. Kind of interesting. And now the Crusader's Crossbow, healing a player with an arrow now grants a smaller amount of Ubercharge. And with the Quick Fix, fixed cases where Quick Fix Ubercharge players could still be affected by certain knockback effects, and players can no longer capture objectives while under the effects of a Quick Fix Ubercharge. There's a reason why this is banned in 6s. Anyway, now with the Spy, the HUD Cloak meter now displays motion and feign when Cloak and Dagger and Dead Ringer are equipped respectively, which is kind of nice. The Dead Ringer, initial damage reduction when feigning death increased to 75% from 50%, which is a huge plus because the Dead Ringer was kind of UP or underpowered since the Gunmetal update. It's kind of nice to see that it works again. With the Spycicle, it fixed a bug where ammo packs from dead players were not filling the Spycicle meter, and Fire Immunity Shield no longer appears when Fire Immunity is triggered. That actually led to a lot of people dropping using the Spycicle. Luckily, it's fine now, so we can all use it with fun. With the Heavy Fists of Steel, removed deploy time penalty and added penalty of increased holster time by 100%. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but I guess we'll have to see in game. With the Gloves of Running Urgently, similar but no deploy time penalty. Warrior's Spirit now heals 150 health on kill, and damage received and dealt increased by 30%, and it removed the health penalty. With the Eviction Notice, it provides 15% more move speed, which is actually kind of cool, but now it increases damage taken by 20%. So, essentially the Eviction Notice is the same thing as the Gloves of Running Urgently. I'm not sure which one's faster, but I think it's still the gloves. Now, Demo Man got a gigantic buff and debuff. Well, I think it's all debuffs. Shield Bash now deals damage at all ranges scaled by distance. Melee damage boost after Shield Bash is based upon amount of charge consumed. Now provides mini crits at 25% depleted and full crit at 60% depleted. That's kind of interesting to notice, because I've been using Demo Man, and it's interesting. Charging now removes debuffs from Demo Knight, Bleed, Fire, Mad Milk, Girardi. That's not a bad thing at all. All swords have now a slower deploy and holster speed compared to base weapons in addition to their increased melee range. And then there's the shield debuffs. Here we go, boys. Splendid Screen. Remove the ability to charge impact damage at any range. Now increases recharge rate by 50% and increased blast resistance from 15% to 20%. So now this is a more viable use, I guess. Now grants mini crit instead of full crit on Charge Bash, which sucks. Reduced resistances to 15%. They debuffed the Tide Turner, which is already pretty much trash. Great job, Valve. Great job. Charging Charge reduced blast resistance from 40% to 30%, and it removed the fire immunity. The only reason I'm even good at Demo Man is because of that fire immunity, so I'm kind of screwed there. With the, I can never pronounce this correctly, the Cladham More, it removed charge duration bonus, and now restores 25 health on kill, remove the health penalty, and now increases damage taken while active by 15%. Which would, in my opinion, that's a terrible idea, but, you know, whatever. With the Persian Persuader, removed animal pickups granting health instead of ammo, which is nice because it's really annoying to get ammo otherwise. Added penalties of reduced primary and secondary ammo, which is a bad thing. Ammo pickups now replenish charge, which is useful, actually. Now gains charge meter on hit. That's actually pretty cool, I gotta admit. With the Quickie Bomb Launcher, fizzle time increased from 2 seconds to 4 seconds, which is gonna make it more effective, especially in, like, Koth maps, King of the Hill maps. It's on the point. It's going to be much more effective. The Olapul Caber was finally rebuffed. Base melee damage increased from 35 to 55. Hell yeah, it's not as good as it used to be still, but it's much better than what it used to be. Added 20% fire rate penalty and added 100% switch 2-time penalty. Loose Cannon reduced projectile speed. Now it's a visible attribute, which kind of sucks because I really liked how the Loose Cannon used to be. It reduced cannon impact damage from 60 to 50. Damage also scales with distance. Reduced knockback from cannon hit. Knockback strength is now similar to an air blast, which is kind of unfortunate. I really liked how far you could knock your opponents. Engineer, after removing a sapper from a sentry, there's now a 0.5 second delay before the sentry is active again. The sentry's brought into respawn room, no longer detonate outside of man versus machine. The Jag, added damage penalty against buildings, now takes 3 hits to destroy a sapper, which makes sense. I mean, you gotta balance the Jag a little bit. And from Rescue Ranger, healing per bullet reduced from 75 to 60, which is kind of a big blow to people who play NG. So yeah. In general, we got quite a bit of stuff here, but basically it's mostly performance updates. I'll put the link to this in the description below if you guys want to read the rest of this. But basically what it's explaining is that there's some performance updates, which is complete crap, because before I got this update, I used to get, like, before Gunmetal, I used to get 300 even in firefights. After Gunmetal, probably 150 in firefights. Now, 70. So that's kind of a pain in the ass. I suppose that's because of beta, though. Beta stuff, so what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? So that's pretty much it. This is the performance and reduced memory consumption by 500 megs for Mac and Linux players. Right. Okay, that's the thing. And manpower got changed also, so I'm not going to cover all that stuff. That's basically all the weapon changes and the stuff that was added to the newest update named Tough Break. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye!